Hey everybody, it's your boy MC Fire. We are coming at you with a live trading day. It will be pretty cool because I don't get to do these often, but when I do, it's pretty neat. And this will be the first one we actually show on the tube of view. So thank you for joining us. Let's get right into it. So just kind of showing off a little bit of what we have here. I was doing some pretty heavy looks at the market yesterday and seeing how it was maneuvering. We have a chart here of Meta on the weekly and the daily. I'm looking at this very nice, what seems to be buying pressure, right? I wouldn't necessarily call this a ascending triangle, but it is steady buying pressure coming into this rotational area on the daily. I'm hoping to get a break here and to take a longer position kind of to the upside. Also, I had a try screen up for the Qs, the SPY, and CL, but I typically will keep as we want to look at stuff, I'll just type it in here for you guys so you can see it. On the news, we have for the US the JOLTS job opening, and I think Canada's CPI. So if you know, yesterday, if you were watching, you could check Forex Factory. I'm not going to flashbang you guys, but final manufacturing for PMI. And then basically manufacturing numbers came out yesterday. So hats off to the Fed and them giving us the data. It wasn't exactly perfect, but the market didn't respond. It did respond negatively to that data, but since rebounds. So we'll see if it can hold up in these resistance zones. The purple are like intraday resistance, and the white are more like weekly resistance. So if you look at the Qs, I know there's a lot of arrows, but yeah, you've got quite a few like purple lines is kind of where we're at, and then the white lines are resistance area from like back here and here, right? Pretty sweet. So I like to trade relatively off the resistance lines, but if you notice, we have a 10-minute chart, we have a 2-minute chart, and we're gonna make basically plays that are for or within our system. On the SPY, the CL, and the Qs. We are also going to be periodically looking at Meta. Pull that back up for you guys. Meta, if it continues to approach highs. Lin, same thing. Lin, let me show you what we're dealing with here. I'm looking potentially for it to it's kind of in a juicy buy area, so if you can get back above this zone, kind of get out of the squeeze area, that'd be really nice for Lin. I'm hoping to get one of these. Now it's been treading sideways for about 4 weeks, as you can see here, right here in this area. So if we can get a push, solid. And on the daily, it already is technically triggered a buy signal, so we want the weekly trigger just so we can get out of hot water. Definitely confirm that buyers have stepped in, they're taking over, the trend's changing. And then last but not least, GS and PGR. So we're going to take a look at GS real quick. Not too much to really say here. I mean, it's pretty much bottom left, top right. It's been increasing in their earnings. So, and it makes sense because if you're a bank, high interest rates, that means more money in your pocket. So buy trigger right here on the daily for sure. So this would specifically be a day trade, and what we're seeing already is coming into the post market. We don't have the after hour data for Goldman Sachs, but what we do see is at the end of the day, it did kind of rally very similar to the Qs, very similar to the SPY. So something to note there. And PGR. Right, same deal. On the weekly, daily, same thing. Right, progressive, looking good. Bottom left, top right. Kind of at the top of the range. These would be decent day trades, in my opinion. So the market's about to open here in roughly 2.5 minutes. We'll make that shake. there's a lot that could potentially happen with the jobs openings numbers coming out, but that's the only thing we got on our schedule. I think the heavy stuff kind of already blasted off. And so what kind of plays will we be looking to take? So from the playbook, with this resistance zone, ideally I would want to wait for a potential pullback back to fair value. It's already at its 3 ATR level. So on the 10-minute chart, I'd be looking for a pullback under the 8-pair moving average before we take a play, even if it breaks to the upside. We can say, let's get a look over here. We're gonna pull up vantage point. Close it and then reopen it. No. So I would say that for a 0 DTE trade, we could take a butterfly play. I would want to say to the upside. Yes, we do have a program that gives a predictive high-low, and I kind of like that. It is a little bit on the pricey side, but it gives a estimated value for high-low. So, and it's pretty accurate, if I do say so myself. So for the Qs, I'm not gonna flash it up here, but for the Qs, I'll pull the Qs up on the daily before we start the 50 minutes or 50 seconds, excuse me. Saying high probably shouldn't break range high of the previous day, and low is looking at 450. So high 455, low 450, right? It's at 453, so it might not. It's saying it might not break that high, but it is uptrending. So we'll take that, and we'll go ahead and put a butterfly to the upside. And how we would want to set that up, for those who don't know, let's say for example, I want to run a trade for the Qs. Right, here's your options matrix, and calls are on this side, puts are on this side. And literally the way I do it is I'm gonna make it 4 wide. So I just kind of count it out. Now when the market actually opens, these will be a lot more liquid, so they won't be as expensive. But you notice you got 0 DTE. There's the market bell. Slightly volatile. Okay, cool, nice. And we're kind of wanting it to be pretty cheap. Like we want the spread of the butterfly to be as wide as, what can you say, the price. So if you got a 4 wide butterfly, you want it to be less than 40 bucks. Don't necessarily hold true to that all the time, but it basically holds true. That's kind of what you're shooting for. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll go here. We'll take this deep wide. Take a deep wide butterfly, 4 strike butterfly. Boom. Kind of built out. 47, we'll take it, no limit. Boom. It's a little bit more on the pricier side. We did end up getting filled. So what does this mean? We basically got in for a 0 DTE. We do it 0 DTE every day, as a way to put kind of the odds in our favor when it comes to trading. It's kind of hard to go wrong with 0 DTE strategy. It's an asymmetrical system in a way. So, but then we just wait for other opportunities to come to our way. So your low strike is going to be this 455, and your high strike is going to be this 463. Go back to the charts, pull that up here. Boom. 455 is a high. So basically target up here, way out of the money, which is pretty dope. But it costs you 50 bucks. But the potential here is immense. Okay, cool. So it's telling me the setups are here. Not seeing too much on the other things going on here. We got SPY. We'll pull SPY up for you. Not too much. We just basically it's a waiting game. So as you can see here, out the gate, SPY kind of breaking to the upside at open with a slight pullback. Okay, and then this 2-minute chart is kind of reflecting this is your VWAP. It's not anchored, but we might look at that in the future. Well, if we can get a pullback in here with a confirmation that it wants to continue its momentum to the upside, awesome. We also have what's it called? CL. So crude, light sweet crude. Light sweet crude is got some momentum building kind of to the upside. So, and it just crossed to fair value. Now we have it marked up light sweet crude, but I just like to know kind of what the oil market's doing, because it's not necessarily directly correlated to the Qs or the SPY. Something to know, right? Okay, here we go. So taking a peek at our groups here, we've got Meta, Lin, GS, and PRG. I know people think that like trading is like getting in and out of positions, but I'm gonna tell you like this: a lot of the best traders, they are very patient and they just wait for the play to kind of come to them. Straight out the gate, Meta's already kind of pushing wheats below this value. Okay, cool, very nice for a wheat, but it's looking like the Meta wants to make a run for it. Very tight moving averages right here want to expand out. So Meta out the gate might be pretty nice, but we're gonna wait to see if we can get a pretty decent setup right here. It would be under fair value on the 2 minute, so I'd be very interested to see if it how it. We're just gonna watch Meta here. Also, we'll take a peek at Lin over here. I just want to keep an eye on the GS and Progressive. We got Progressive actually did take a nice peekaboo to the upside. It's testing fair value. So relative strength goes to right now that we're looking at. Progressive is looking at the cleanest chart. Kind of pushing here, expanding out. You'd almost have to take it on the open. Not something that I would be looking to do. Just take it straight out the gate on the open. So let's pull back in now. Let me show you guys what I'm seeing here for Progressive. Here we go. PRG, very nice. So Progressive at open, basically just came out the gate really strong, but it's testing this level, so I wouldn't necessarily want to be getting in right now. Even at open, it'd be in and out. I'm looking for something a little bit more sustainable. So as it makes its opening range, pulls back into this zone, awesome. I would like to definitely know how that goes for sure. So you've got Progressive there. Let's go in. Right, not looking too juicy on it right now. It's testing the bottom of its rotation. Now you could say, well, if it reacts off of it, is that something that we might want to take a buy on at the bottom of rotation? Not really. Remember, for Lin, we would want ideally to break to the upside. So for this to be a buy, it would need to at minimum be above on the daily this level. It'd be above the 8, and it would need to be above the high there, and that's being extremely aggressive. We're really looking for this on a weekly play. Go back to GS real quick. Right, yeah. So no real fall through on Goldman Sachs to the upside. Can't necessarily say that we'll be looking at this one if this kind of action continues. So our best bet right now is maybe looking at Meta, maybe looking at the Qs, and see if we can get a pullback into range, which we're kind of starting to do right now. If we can get a nice juicy pullback, and then it starts building profile in this area before a push, that'd be perfect. Okay, Q's also pulling back. Do we think we're going to get up to this level? Probably not. But I will say this for, let's say for example, if we go analyze trade, risk profile, maybe we'll be able to build it. I might be able to build it for you guys. Give me a second. It should allow me to analyze trade here. Yep. Cool. So with the trade now analyzed, take off the rest of these. Just one butterfly. So the cool thing about the butterfly is the price has to come into this area, but this kind of purple line is the P&L curve that's active currently right now in real time. And then this kind of blue cyan color is the curve that will be what's prevalent at expiration. So at expiration, it would have to be within what they call the profit tent. And so the risk to you, it's saying so the risk to this on this trade would be like 92, but the max reward could be $353. And I believe, oh, this is why it's saying the risk is okay, we're going to take off all these band adjusters. So yeah, there it is, your $46, and then the max gain is 171. That's just kind of, or the max gain, excuse me, is 344. Max loss 46. You can see it in the bottom left hand corner there. As I move this, the cyan next to the date, it's saying, hey, the most you can lose is 46 bucks, but the most you can gain is $325. So that's really good risk to reward there. So we see SPY starting to flatten out on the 2 minute a little bit, and the Qs starting to flatten out on the 2 minute. So I'm going to go ahead and get that pulled up for you guys. Let's go Tater, SPY, SPY. Okay, it's kind of pulled into this zone, peekabooed in there, and kind of came out. So that's kind of what we're looking for to continue that. I don't necessarily want to take this trade just straight because it peekabooed into the thing there. I kind of want to see it register, break a high, and then this will basically be my risk here. It'll be my risk there. We'll go to the Qs and then we'll come back and we might be able to take a trade here. So same thing, kind of broke below VWAP, and then now it's pushing to the upside slightly, but I want to see some conviction here. I'm not getting it. We'll just kind of watch here because we'll potentially take a trade in this level. Let's go SPY real quick. I can see it all on the tri-screen, but for you guys, I want you guys to see it. So at this point, we'll just be patient and see how this unfolds. And if we look at some of the historical data, right, it could be in the morning a little choppy, a little wonky, so it might take some time for this to develop. Okay. The other plays that we have a Tesla play currently, and we have a other play. So let's jump to progressive PGR. It is looking like it wants to push here, so definitely out the gates very strong. Didn't really get a pullback, but if you notice on the first 2 minutes, it's just basically been pushing its way on its 2 standard deviations, which is indication of a potentially strong trend setting up. But we want something like this. We want that pullback. We're gonna just be patient and not rush anything, not wait. I'm watching it on the tri screen, so it is pretty sweet. And then we'll go take a look at the other one's lane. So we'll be patient for SPY here, and just wait and see, man. That's really what it is. I'm not sure why people like where the angst is constantly getting out of setups. But if the market doesn't necessarily move or give you what you're looking for, then there's no necessarily there's not a need to just take a play here. So peekaboo back in here as it comes out. If we break this range high, we'll go ahead and we'll look to put on a trade with a risk below the low. That's kind of what we'll do here because it's already peekabooed inside of here a few times. So we'll go ahead and put that there as kind of a heads up to us how we're looking as orders build in its fair value, I'm expecting it to kind of get into squeeze and look to push out of this low volatility kind of environment. That's kind of what we're looking at for the SPY, and then Qs will probably do the same thing. The SPY has a way better risk profile from what I'm seeing, so I'd rather take a look at that. I'd take a look at the SPY. GS here. Let's see what GS is doing. GS, nice juicy little bounce, but not necessarily what I'm looking to take for the buy. Remember, I kind of have a presupposition for what I'm looking for the play and the momentum behind the play. So I'm looking for buy triggers for GS and not necessarily looking for the sell here. So your whole moving average just went green on the SPY, and on the 10-minute, I'm liking what I'm seeing. You've got your first, like pre-market, you had a golden cross here. So if the other moving average can kind of get into a golden cross position, that'd be nice. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. What else we got? So Lynn out the gate's coming out flat, and I'll show you guys that. Yeah, out the gate it's just a little flat. So yeah, this might just be a dud market, or maybe the market's waiting for the job numbers to come out before people kind of get convicted in that. So it's just something to be mindful of. Is good thing we know about news doesn't necessarily mean that we have to take a play. I'm not itching to take a play. I'm just gonna be patient and wait for our setup here. Slight divergence between the Qs and the SPY, as the Qs are slightly pulling to the downside a little bit more. SPY is being a little bit more resilient. You don't see that too often, but yeah, the Qs kind of going down, SPY keeping its I would call that a bullish, potentially bullish play, because the candles are trending upwards, whereas the Qs, the candles are trending downwards. So these last three anyways. So we'll just be patient. It seems really chill. So here's SPY. Go back to it. Might have saw a heavy candle push. Yep, that's our indication. We'll go ahead and take that buy. Go to trade. We'll execute a option buy for the SPY, and it'll be about $100 for the call. And credit market confirm send. There we go. So we are live on SPY. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this right here. Just kind of give us a kind of heads up on where we took the buy on SPY. And then our risk is the same. The low of the last couple candles, and what we have here basically a pullback into the range, kind of a break or test of high, and it was a little, I would say it was a little aggressive. You didn't necessarily get the break of high here, but because we don't have like the quick hotkeys to execute options contracts on the Qs or SPY, to be honest, I'm not looking to necessarily wait till that break, because then it really kind of runs away from you. So have to be a little more aggressive, but as you get the professional tools, it is what it is. So we'll come back to this, but basically we have that in place there, and you see there is some divergence between the Qs and the SPY. I'll show that again. Kind of building the same range, but for the Qs it's kind of at the bottom of that range. SPY is more at the top of that range. I don't believe the SPY can push without the Qs though, and that's something I want to note. a lot of times with the Qs making up so much of the market, you're not gonna have a lot of times a SPY push without the Qs. Now, right now, it's holding up pretty decent, but I don't think it's gonna just like absolutely go bananas without the Qs. So if the Qs don't get going, it's holding up on fair value right now. Kind of the same setup here, a little bit of a bullish setup, but without the Qs, I don't believe the SPY can go. Could be wrong, right? I actually, in this current instance, hope I'm wrong. So we'll come back to that. So let's go look at the meta here. Nice little run to the upside. Now it's kind of back in the range, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing on the 2 minutes as it builds orders kind of to the downside there. So we'll hold off on that. We'll rotate into Lin for you guys. Still kind of going sideways. So we'll just be patient. We don't have to really wait, or we don't have to really take a play on that. Look at Goldman Sachs. Look at that. Nice little rebound here. With the right tools, I think you probably could have pulled that off. What tools am I talking about? Like this is, if you're looking at volume profile, cumulative delta, you probably would have saw aggressive buying pressure, or buyers getting trapped, or excuse me, sellers getting trapped, coming in aggressive, getting trapped, probably around here, and then the follow through, you probably would have caught that. If there was a lot of people stepping in here and they get trapped, then you can get a nice little squeeze to the upside there. Just something to note for that. And then last but not least, PRG or PGR, Progressive. They are coming out strong, but momentum's kind of, I would say, you're not just going to push to infinity and beyond. There is going to be some pullback, so we will watch our baby on SPY. So we got a little push above, a little retracement, very nice. So as long as, again, we're kind of beaming off this 8-period moving average on the 10-minute chart. So if you can maintain that kind of upwards momentum, that's good. The Qs though, kind of treading water, they're barcoding sideways. So again, if the Qs don't get going, then SPY probably also it won't get going. And this is also a good way to test you to see, well, hey, it's a good way to critique and say, this is what I saw. This is probably what could have been done. In the heat of the moment, when you're looking actually at the charts, which you don't get to do too often. So this is a treat. We get to actually have fun on the charts and not just analyze the charts. We actually do get to be out here and have fun in the sun. If we were looking at intermediate values inside of this range, you could say this level for sure, just kind of going back immediately. I would say this is a purple zone for sure. So this could be some of our resistance here. We won't know until we plot it. Is this double top or is this kind of rest here? No double top. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much. We can actually extend this out here. So yeah, it comes down to this. That's kind of marking up like where I consider like fair value. If you even go out this far, you can see it did it again. You can so this level is kind of important, right? Kind of important. Cool beans. So we'll just mark that up for us. If it breaks above that, awesome. If it doesn't, awesome. We have our plan in place. So our plan is in place. Where we look to basically take our contract off. First sign of trouble is here, but the real sign of resistance is right here, right at this level. So I guess we'd say we'll look to pull the contract out right there. Because yeah, the first sign of trouble is right here, but risk to reward, we're anticipating a break in a little bit higher than that. Basically have a nice juicy 1-to-1. If we can get it, that's what we'll take. But But if the Qs don't come through, and we'll show you that now, I think it'll be murder she wrote for our trade here. So yeah, in this case right here, you have, I mean, yeah, it's still trending down. It's still kind of, I see this as a bearish play. If I was looking at it, just seeing this and seeing it start going flat. So unless it starts building, breaking new highs, I'm inclined to believe, yeah, that's more bearish, because things tend to fall faster. So I'm a little bit more acute to the bearish side than the bullish side. Okay. Speaking of which, Gwen and GS, PGR, Meta, all those guys are, yeah, they're chugging along. Lens is kind of going sideways. And yeah, so we're basically just being patient here at this point, not seeing too much. The market's kind of flat right now all across the board, not making, like, except for Progressive out the gate. Progressive out the gate wasn't playing. Now, what you could do, and this is a big could, right? The SMB setups for this one could actually come into play here, and I'll bring that out. Sorry for the flashbang, but I'm going to show you guys this. I'm going to show you guys just so you can see what I'm seeing as a potential play if it was the case. So flashbang here, cover your eyes if you're cute. So this setup that they showcased, remember this was on this is a free training they offered, but I saved what they provided to everybody. So one of the things that I see second chance scalp is if it breaks above that and comes back down to that level, this range would be like this right here, high low here. If it breaks, retest that could be our potential for could be a potential for a play to the upside. So we'll actually mark that on our charts just so we can kind of know that that's the play, right? Boom, boom. There's our nice juicy range. Let me put it in purple here. Nice purpley color. Yeah. There you go. Nice purple and purple. Yeah, so if it breaks above that, we want to know. Boom. And then that will give us indication to look for the retest. Okay. So shout out to SMB for that. All right, cool. So back to SPY and the Qs, which again, still kind of flat, nothing really going on here. We'll hold our position and just hope for the best. Now, what we could have done that probably would be better in this environment, especially for the SPY, is we could have potentially sold a call here, or sold a vertical here. So that would have been nice. But either way, directionally, it doesn't look like it wants to directionally push to the upside yet. But we're not in necessarily hot waters. We're just taking some heat right now. Remember, our low is still here. So if it punches it, we'll let it go. Very simple. Testing VWAP. See how it reacts off of VWAP. If it holds off of VWAP, I'll feel pretty confident that you can see some up, continue to move to the upside. But if it doesn't hold VWAP and it stops us out, it stops us out. And it could be setting up just rotation right here. But either way, we're going to hold to our plan. So we'll go ahead and get the trade. We'll go ahead and get the trade queued up in our monitor tab here. We've got our single, and we're going to create a opposing trade. Okay. below, and we'll confirm this in. Cool. So we're out of that trade. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. It didn't necessarily go our way, but we held to what we plan on doing, and that's kind of all you can do, is kind of keep to your rules. So going back and look at it, I can see it on the try screen. It actually hit that mark. So went up, broke above our range here. Kind of a little aggressive on it, because as you can see, it didn't really break it. It kind of approached it and reacted off of it, and went below our range that we had set there, or what we wanted to risk for that trade. It could react and give us another potential buy, but not looking necessarily to allocate resources towards getting back in immediately until we see a good juicy setup. Now some might say, well, why didn't we pick this range low? It could have been, it probably could have been a better pick for this range low. This candle coming in makes me think, well, but what I'm really noticing, and guys, this is kind of where I'm like, this is why it's good to have multiple screens up, is the cues. It's not necessarily the SPY that I'm worried about. It's actually the driver is the cues, and the cues did punch to the lows, right? So just because a SPY is relatively less twitchy than the cues is right now, that also I'm looking at that, I'm saying, hey, yeah, we would have got stopped out on the cues for sure. So I don't believe the SPY can push without the cues. You can't like ascend to new highs and the cues not. There's too much, waiting in the cues. So really the cues are driving the market. Ooh, but what I do see, it's kind of juicy, is when looking like it wants to break out of this range, this tight squeeze range. Looks like it wants to break out of it. It is already below the low. There's your retest. Now, if, and this is a big if, it's a big if it can break below that, we just got a big slap on the cues to the upside, and SPY to the upside. So if it can break to the low, this could be good. So I'm gonna show you this slap. We just got out, kind of ran our stop, but big slap to the upside there. So yeah, it would have been advantageous to get this, but I guess they ran those stops, which includes me. Kind of ran that stop. A lot of people got stopped out, causing the squeeze play to the upside. So because it's in this range, right, what will we do now, right? It's already kind of moved. We were already in the play. We got out. What do you do here? You just wait. You wait for your next real setup. And the next real setup isn't jump back in. It's not the next real setup. You take that one on the chin. You say, hey, we were in the play. It went our way, but we weren't in the play. So it's just a rough one, and you guys get to see it like real time. And this is also why we put on the butterfly, because the caveat to that is you might have taken a hit on the play where you didn't have necessarily the tools and necessarily the practice, but your asymmetrical setup has a lot of potential to actually work here. So let's go to which one was that? That was on the we got to call butterfly on the cues. So we'll go back to the chart and QQQ in our level. So profitability wise, we took a slight loss on the previous one, but as it trudges close to our butterfly, it could be a positive on the day. It just really stinks, it happens. Running stops, it happens all the time. People put their stop kind of where I put my stop, maybe even lower, and then it punches. So we could have took this pivot low. That would have been nicer. But it is what, like I said, it is what it is. There. So if it continues to punch to the upside, cool. We still get paid either way, especially if the Q's push. But it would have been nice to have that very juicy SPY setup. And you guys see like what happens to people in the market all the time. And that happens. Let's see, Meta. We got Meta's kind of building here. So what I say is safe to kind of potentially take a play with the Q's pushing. I wouldn't mind, like as you can see, is rotating, but it's making higher lows, but it's not making higher highs. So it's kind of going into this wedge format. If it keeps playing out this way, and the way Meta's looking, that's to be expected. So I would want to still see the break though. I'd want to be in for the bottom of this, kind of getting in as the break happens for the rotation for sure. So we'll just be patient on that. But yeah, man, SPY just totally played us. Love it. Good learning. Love it. Again, still struggling to get out the blocks here to the upside. The plays to the upside, I'm not looking to take a buy. I'm more biased to the upside on Lin here. Goldman actually is pushing today. What does it say? It's pushing. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so after a little drop, it started its rally, but it hasn't gone. When you look at this, it hasn't really gone anywhere new. So there's that, and then we'll put one here. Right, intraday. So in the inside of its range, it hasn't really, because it's basically completing its internal rotation. So yes, Valiant as though it is, there's nothing new going on here. And then Progressive. Okay. So again, inside the rotation, no real. It kind of broke. Kind of triggered our alert here, so we'll put another one there. It didn't really break above that, and for us to get that retest that we were looking for, it might just stay in this area. Now looking over here, you see that it's coming up against resistance. So ideally, for us to take a trade to the upside, we would need that break retest for the high probability setup to the upside, because it's up against resistance. But if it keeps building market orders here, VWAP starts catching up to it, that could be a juicy setup to the upside, right? We're just gonna wait and see if it actually does that. So the Qs, the SPY, on a peekaboo mission, as they approach that level, they're pulling back hard. It's kind of funny to watch. Right. Peekaboo mission up, hit 3 ATR, people are getting out, and basically back to fair value. So it was a lot more volatility as volatility picks up. Wasn't expecting it to be this wild though. Rotation, like full break to the high, and definitely broke above that. So yeah, there's a lot going on. We just gotta wait and see. That's why, again, like the play, if you get juked by the market, a lot of times it's just good to just settle. Because let's say, for example, we took that, we'd be in way more hot water than we were in, right? You just say, oh man, it broke the upside. Now, if it broke retest and then started pushing, yes, that's different. But just because it broke your level, that is not a high probability setup. That's just, you win some, you lose some. It's the cost of doing business. So I just think that is mad interesting. Running stops, baby. Easy day, mine included, right? Lin is having a field day to the downside. It's starting to just kind of drift down. this might be a dud day, guys, all around the board. So, and that happens. We're not going in heavy leverage, and we certainly don't have, we don't have the in-depth data for the market, like the order flow data. They are out there. That is coming. I was actually today pricing some of those tools to get it full package. It runs about $1,000, so we probably will get that for you guys and show you that. But as a kind of looking at it from, am I like adding like longer term options portfolios? This to me, being able to day trade is a treat. Not going overboard, getting the opportunity to hone your skills and learn some lessons is a treat. Losing your money is not a treat, but the lesson involved with participating in the market, that is for me the biggest thing. The learning, the reading of the books, the being cognizant of what's available and what's out there. So after this big retest here, and you see this large, extremely large candle on the 2-minute step in, on the 10-minute it's massive, right? This would signal to me that we potentially could be it's hot water for a potential like test of this, right? So zooming out here, you basically, I wouldn't say tested fair value, but the distance between here and here, you kind of almost went to that 528 level on the spot. If you can't build more market orders and get above even your VWAP, then my inkling is you're going to potentially push to the downside, because I look at this as a signal. Hey, heads up, there is sellers in the market that are aggressive. Whatever the news is, they're aggressive there. Might have been some news that came out that made people sell that, but not looking to take in for a short. Let's go check out our boy Meta. See how he's holding out. Okay, still barcoded. Yep. And then let's see if we have, we'll pull up over here and see if we got any juicy plays. So you've got TLT here, out the gate, kind of ran for the border there. Very nice. And then your Boeing is, after like 2 basically good days of pushing, getting into this resistance, it'd be hard for it to break it. So what you would ideally want to see is it retest and start following through. It's not doing that. And you've got Amazon here. These plays are saying, hey, these are setting up to the downside, these are setting up to the upside. Potentially Amazon here, it's in fair value, so it's going to test either here or here. If I had to take if I was like a betting man, I would say it's going to test to the downside. So this is what we could do. Amazon's looking like the juiciest because it is right here. So we could set a, let's see what we can do. We're gonna look at something here. We could do Amazon, put credit, 4 wide. Be 3-day. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take an asymmetric deep wide here. Yeah, it's 31. Analyze trade. I just want to make sure. Yeah, okay, we're on the right side of this thing. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so my thinking is, if Amazon decides to actually push to the downside, we could potentially in the next 3 days see some action. The idea is, right, you're going to short the rally, and where I'm getting that from is it tested this level here. It's at fair value. If it's not going to approach here, I'll take a potential play into this zone for test and break in the next 3 days. And I'm looking at as gives a lot of selling pressure here. Unbalanced volume on the day is red. If you're not going to rally, it could be nice juicy move to the upside. With the Qs and the SPY kind of showing weakness, a lot of other things could start failing as well. So, and then how do we set that up here? So you've got a buy, one buy here at 172.50, and then you've got two shorts at 162.50, and then you've got another buy at 152.50, or 152.50. So the way that works is you're buying two puts, and then you're selling. You're also selling two puts. So your risk to the amount of contracts is even, right? You don't have unbalanced risk, number one, and then number two, the cost is limited. But if, let's say for example, we go to our monitor tab here on the butterfly, and we see what's the potential for this trade here. I actually had it already pulled up. You can see that the potential is pretty good. So negative 32, right? And the maximum is 964. So if it runs, it would have to basically be at 162 in 3 days. I don't think it'll run all that way, 162 in 3 days, but I do think it could get down to I think it can get down to like 172 in 3 days, and that'll give us a nice risk to reward of what's it called? Nice risk to reward there of like 5-1. So that's kind of why you run these things. If it really runs, I mean, you pay $30 for the thing, and it runs and gives you at maximum $395. That's not bad at all. So it's just one way to play it, and that's kind of how it goes. So we would have to we would want it to get to this point in the next 3 days. Is that possible? Maybe, but it's 3 days, so anything can happen in 3 days, especially if we're not seeing any follow through on the Qs or the SPY. Speaking of which, you have, as it stands right now, the Qs and the SPY, they're both kind of, after this, like I said, after this large test, I was inclined to think, it might be setting up for some downwards movement on the day for the Qs and the SPY. All right, there we go. And I'm not necessarily looking to take our bullish setups in the opposite direction. I'm looking to take a bearish setup in the direction that the market's moving. So if the market's moving down, looking for bearish setups is where I want to be at, like Boeing, like Amazon. That's kind of what I would be looking at for that. Actually, let's go and look at what it would be at. So yeah, even if it gets down to that resistance level, the profit there is still like if it went down there immediately, you'd be at like 98. So you pay $30 and it's already a 3-to-1. Just something to think about. Just something to think about for that Amazon play. So we've been we'll go, I guess, another 15 minutes here, and we'll call it. We basically took one play on the SPY, stuck to our plans, and we didn't necessarily just immediately jump back in. So shouts out to us. We can see here that if it takes a dip in here, this actually could be a nice juicy buy right here, breaking high. The whole moving average hasn't actually started to move, but for you guys, we'll take one. We'll take a trade literally right here. 5. Market, watch it, fire, just for you guys. Okay. For you guys, we'll go ahead and take this play. Did break range, and I guess it's about right here. I got it. If there's some follow through, cool. If there's not, cool. Because it's barcoding, and if it breaks the barcode, then we're in there. If it doesn't, boom. Nice bit of time with you guys. Yeah. So there's your juicy barcode range. If it breaks low, we'll let it go, but it has to break low. Bam. Okay. So if it breaks low, we'll let it go. Got Lynn, and I'm looking at him like, yo, this guy, he's kind of staying within his rotation. So Lynn, right now it's in his rotation, coming back into its rotation. So now it's testing fair value. So shout out to Lynn for kind of recovering a little bit, but this at the end of the day is a break retest of this level right here. So Lynn can continue pushing to the downside, and we can see if it breaks low here, she's probably out the running for the buys. Let's go back to SPY. Just rotating inside here. Ideally, you'd want to see a break retest of that range, but at the top, we'll do it for you guys. What else we got? Boeing. Wow, look at that, man. Definitely a really volatile market today. So massive selling, and then you get your whole moving average pushing up, and just an increasing amount of volume on these last two candles here. It's kind of insane that how the market's acting today. So it looked like it wanted to break and get back into this in this rotational zone, and then just right back out of it. So this almost constitutes a break retest on Boeing, just a very violent and volatile one for sure. There's your break, huge break. There's your retest, and you can see Boeing continue to the upside. Right, break retest here. It is a buy trigger from back here, so if you got Boeing on like yesterday, awesome, good for you. We've been looking at Boeing as a potential buy, but I wasn't thinking that today was going to be the day that it'd be a potential buy. It was a buy a week ago, so for the daily, it definitely was a buy. But we should have been in back here. We're going to get it for this nice potentially head and shoulders. I think we've kind of went over that with you guys. So market's kind of just treading water here. Oh, you know what? I should have did. I told you that I was going to do it, and I didn't even do it. I rushed into that one. But if you got into the SPY, right, it probably should have been you're selling the credit. You probably should have been putting on a credit spread, so basically selling for premium. But that's if it even does anything, right? If it even actually gives you what you're looking for. So yeah, we'll give you guys about 10 more minutes, and then we'll do a follow-on video on what actually happened, what the market actually ended up doing. Last look. Got a good friend Boeing here on its bounce play. Amazon looking like it wants to trade to the downside. It is conjecture, but all this selling, basically massive selling in 2 days, and then one day kind of up, choppy, the next day super choppy. So I'm inclined to believe Amazon might take a hit. And remember, credit spread down here. At least the lower wing is down here. But even if it trades here, you're looking at a 2-to-1, maybe even a 3-to-1 return because of the way we set up our butterfly here. So we also have TLT that's actually doing some pushing, or it did some in the morning. So if you're looking at the bottom market here, it pushed in the morning and then it since started retreating. So it's not looking too good for the TLT on the day. Maybe you can find some support, maybe in this area, but not looking too good. If you're looking for an up market, I would say, if you're looking for a market to continue pushing to new highs, probably won't happen today. And what time is the JOLTS numbers come out, or the manufacturing numbers? The JOLT job opening numbers, they actually came out, just came out, and I believe it was less than expected. Here we go. Yeah, JOLTS number just came out, or they're about to come out. The previous was, I don't know what these numbers mean. I just actually I'll flashbang you guys real quick. So brace for shock. Here it comes. Boom. Okay. So your JOLTS job opening numbers, it's about to happen right now. This is active currently, so that's what's up next, and it's looking like it wants to drop here pretty soon. So we'll just wait. We'll wait for that. You guys probably won't be here because we've got like 6 minutes with you guys. But after that, yeah, man. I'll give you guys another video to kind of showcase how that trade went, how it didn't go. It's trading sideways, so selling premium would have been the ideal thing to do. But break retest, man. Wait for that break, wait for that retest for sure. Let's see, what do we got? Any other news, interaction other than Lynn doing his thing. So yep, there's the kind of uptick fair value. If it continues to break to the downside, right, I don't think Lynn will be in the range for a buy, at least not today. We're hoping that we get the break on Lynn up here, where we can take that buy for sure. PRP, let's go PGR. Boom. Just to kind of recap what we went over. Progressive's getting to that point where we could potentially take a buy. We'd want to see a break of the range retest, but it actually broke to the downside, and then now it's testing that again. So a lot of volatility, man. Structure's not really holding up all too well, and there's no real play here because it's not off the road, but there is a play. Oh, excuse me, there was a play here. As it pulled back into here, broke back out, that actually does a play to the upside inside the rotation. So shout out to it, and then you take some off at the top. Be a nice juicy little scalp here, but that was your play right here if you were going to take the progressive. I've got Lynn pulled up. Lynn actually did off the road there too, so yeah, Lynn had a little bit of off the road action. So car went off the road. As you see, this kind of change, you can take the play to the upside. There's no catalyst here, so it's not a lot of follow through going on there. And when you put into action the SPY here, same thing. It had some off the road action, but the pullback was so violent, the hull didn't have time to move before the opportunity was missed. So back to progressive, it did actually break that zone. So if you can get a retest of this level, right, if you can get a break retest, then ideally that is what we wanted to see to take that play, right? Break of the zone, retest. But you did get a buy here. This was your buy. It goes, breaks, comes, falls back into underneath your 8-pair moving action. As it this one closes and it breaks above that, there's your risk, there's your entry, and then there's your take profit. $1 worth of movement there. And you would have been in for 2, 4, 6, basically 8 minutes of action there. So we might have to, for doing this, we might have to set up like a scanner, or like, let's say something like this. If you're in this configuration and you pull back between the 8 and the 21, give me an alert, give me a trigger, give me a signal, give me a heads up. And that way we'll be on the button for the upside, for the downside, and update that list, that scan list daily. That's something that we can do. We might even make a video on that to just add value. Let's say the TLT. So kind of same thing here with the TLT as it pulls into here. The previous candles here, so we need to break. We need to break that before we can see TLT as the same kind of setup in the long run there. We'll run back to SPY here real quick. There's your SPYs. It peekaboos above that range, but remember it's rotating, so this could be a pretty powerful break. It did rotate to the downside a little bit. It's testing this range that we put in, high-low range, and any break of this is going to be significant. The market's going to see that. If it retest, man, it could potentially give us some juicy upside here. What does that mean for Amazon? So even though the market's pushing, Amazon is still kind of remaining flat. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like, if the market is barcoding, Amazon's barcoding, that's good. But if the market is pushing and Amazon's not pushing, then he's showing relative weakness, and that could be good for us. So where would we ideally want to let go of the position? I would say at around kind of this area, not being too greedy here, but we would want to take our position off at the 3 ATR. It's well below previous high, but ideally that's where I'd want to go, is to previous high. Without professional tools, we'll put the alert in early so that we can exit expeditiously if it starts to and if you look here, right, as it comes in, this wick, I almost discount it, because a lot of times that can be algos. You're never going to catch that or be able to play on that. Here's your retest now. You're not going to be able to play on that. So break, I consider that as break a high. So our entry isn't too bad when you consider the play. It isn't too bad. There's your retest. There it is. Boom. So your retest. That could have been a position to get an entry right there on the retest. Not looking to add to this, we're already in here. But if I was going to add to the position, like if I had like hotkeys, boom, I would have added that quick. I did call out the retest to you guys, so it would be an add here. And that's the thing, without professional tools, you have to be a little bit early and a little bit more conservative on how you enter and how you have to take things a little earlier, because by the time it gets to that level, it's already going to be breaking out from there, and that's kind of the biggest thing. Got to be a little bit early, as I've seen, a little bit. Qs are actually following through with the SPY as well, so that's good. I'll pull that up for you guys. So you can see the Qs kind of doing the same thing here, but relative highs is not there. So relative strength, I guess they're kind of in tandem. Yeah, they're in tandem. Okay, so that's good. The Qs and the SPY are in tandem. So if the Qs are pushing, the SPY is pushing. We like that. We want to see that for sure. Definitely want to see that for sure. And you're getting this nice little squeeze format. And if we can get a push out of that, that'd be freaking flipping phenomenal. SPY. Go ahead and get to our tab here. We'll find the single for spies. Single spy call, create opposing order. We'll have it waiting in the queue in the throws here. I gotta watch it on the try screen so I can go ahead and pull it at the right moment. But yeah, we got it pulled up here. Potentially, I have to put market too because we don't know what the limit is. But if it breaks to the upside, awesome. I'm gonna watch it to see if it gets volume behind it. Not a lot of volume here, so we might not be what they say, a dick for a tick. We might just let it go. Oh well, it's starting to pull back. Yeah, we probably let it go. What it's doing, guys, is as it's pushing up literally to our alert, it's hovering around it. So we went on and filled it. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So as it literally pushed up to alert, it's hovering in this area, and we let it go on time. Right before the big push, we let it go. So yeah, we did actually get filled up there. We did actually get, and I can show you that because I'm like, what? No way, dude. Yeah, we actually got filled up here. Before the giant push, because we were like, hey, if it approaches high, let it go. But it was hovering, and we got out before that. Let's see. Yeah, so 818 made about $18 there. Not too crazy. So good. Hats off to us. The one here though, you know, it was so basically a loss on the day. This was down 30, I would say 20 bucks. This is up $18, so basically down $2 on the day for that, like roughly doing rough estimates here. Tack on the 4 and tack off the 3. So I mean, we're ballpark around the same income to loss for the SPY there on our trading. So again, this is good for our training and being able to calibrate internally when to pull it, when not to pull it. Can you keep to your trading rules? It's something you can do. And as you can see, in the general area, yes, that's kind of where we wanted to pull it in, and it did that. So that's good. We took this buy, bailed out, took this buy, actually ran, sold it before the push down. So shout outs to us. Also, Amazon is showing some strength here, so it's just a little late. So we do have a long shot to Amazon to the downside down here, but you know, could take a couple days to get there if Amazon's going to go there. It is a long shot. It's 30 bucks to the downside. So if it works, cool. If it doesn't, you know, no harm, no foul. But what I'm really kicking on is, you know, you have the Qs, and we would like to see some real momentum to the upside here for the Qs. Can we get a push? And if we can get a push, then awesome. But yeah, but thank you guys. It's your boy MC Fire. I appreciate you guys. If I get to do this again, I will probably post it. I really like learning in the markets, even if, you know, you lose a couple of dollars, you're not over leveraging or anything crazy. You're just trying to hone your skills, throw the training wheels on there, and see if you can make this shake as a reality. So thank you guys so very much, and next time we do this, man, if we get the opportunity, to be my treat as always. You know, have a good day and goodbye.